Basically, they added a love interest in for, one of the dwarves. Which is, and I'm sitting here going, what, if I were a kid, this would be boring and icky. And I'm an adult, and this makes it a slightly more interesting. I did almost, according to a friend of mine, I almost killed some women at a Mexican restaurant once. I
Was your
didn't.
gas that bad?
No, I did not actually. I was not prone to. I'm not prone to any violent outbursts, but I was just getting angry. It was right after like the first Lord of the Rings movie had come out, and I was sitting there listening to a bunch of girls from the local university talk, and they were talking about how the Lord of the Rings movies were terrible and totally uninteresting, and they didn't care because in the first few, like 5 minutes of the movie, there wasn't any nudity, no one died, and that made the movie boring.
Oh.
It's like, please stop talking. But apparently I was gripping the edge of the table so tightly that my knuckles had turned white. My friend was like, calm down. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. He's like, I'm afraid you're going to attack them with the table. I'm not going to attack anyone. I'm certainly not going to attack a girl. I'm not sexist or anything, but I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
I also don't want to attack random strangers because that's not how you make friends.
Also, you live in Baltimore. They probably both had a lot of mace in their purses.
Nah, it was Towson. They would have run away screaming. Towson is, one of the... Well, at the time, it was one of the nicer, like, white, yuppie areas to live. And,
Less so now? Hey, Light.
It's just getting to be pretty Detroit these days. I mean, it's not a bad area to live at all, but it's just given the grand scheme of things. There are a lot more white yuppie areas to live. But yeah. It's like, I thought you were going to kill him. I'm like, no, I'm just going to, nerd rage. A long time ago, I learned to keep my nerd rage in because there's nothing more embarrassing than an angry nerd.
Yeah, really.
And yeah,
and as someone who's been an angry nerd on occasion, I can totally see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially when it's a nerd who is a big part of your fandom, and they are raging, and then they expect you to back them up. They're just sitting there going, oh god, he made a point, but he made it the worst way possible. And there have been a few times where I've, been watching those arguments happen. I just, no hablo. I know you speak English. You were speaking it a moment ago. Okay. Yeah, that's still.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I never got around to that side before we started filling it in. I never saw the water come in over there.
Well, this room was surprisingly, easy as far as
yeah, it's just tedious.
Oh yeah, it's all horribly, horribly tedious.
Yes, well, that's why we're limiting what we do with the larger areas on camera.
Yeah. Imagine that for the first time ever, editing.
Well, it's not really editing so much as Boy, that fish looks big. It's not really editing so much as just, carefully planned recording.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the outer corridor here, so...
Do you have any signs you could cram there?
These are my last right now. I gotta go reclaim some of them.
Say, well, I'm gonna have to go through here. I'm gonna try filling this room with sand, because it'll make it a little bit easier for us. There's a squid sticking through the ceiling here.
Well, a fish will pop up outside and kill it soon enough.
Yeah, I am amused by them killing the squid, I gotta admit. But at the same time, what did the squid ever do to them? The heartless bastards. So I was very, very impressed and amused by the pictures you got for the Constructicons.
Oh?
Yeah, I saw them on... Or it was the What's the Constructicons I'm thinking of, right? The ones you put up on Twitter earlier?
Um.
The really, really well-balanced one?
Oh yeah, where it's standing on one leg.
Yes.
I know you said pictures plural. So I was
Oh,
getting
picture. That's just because I default to that.
Ah.
I have a lot of female friends, so when I don't actually look at something, I default to saying, your pictures are so nice. And, because it's almost all cosplay.
Oh, that one.
No. It's not Legend of Zelda. I have a lot of old friends on there who are all cosplayers. And as much as I do like them and value their friendship, and occasionally it is nice to see a pretty girl pop up in costume, it's just, alright, your pictures are very nice. Well done. If I say more than that, that means I'm actually paying attention to the person, or if I say nothing, sometimes it just means I haven't noticed. Because,
well, that's no surprise to anybody who knows you.
Yeah, I have no attention span for things. So, oh yeah. Did Rob mention to you about the thing about the creator of Bloom County? If you ever
Bring
read
it back to make fun of Trump.
Yep. I mean, that's great since it's one of the cartoon strips I grew up with, and, I'm still a fan of the old newspaper funnies. And, it was kind of like, hey, nostalgia, yay. But, he's
if you
actually...
want to go through and start working on the next chamber, I can handle this one.
Alright. You gave me the big room.
I really didn't know.
I know. It just looked like, did he do this on purpose, or...
If I could have, I would have, but no.
Yes, had you known, then the answer would be yes.
Yes, always.
But, yeah, that's been nice. It's been a very big nostalgia thing. And the sad thing is I went back and read some of those comics, or those older comics the other day. I was just sitting there going, wow, these all still apply. There's a
Well,
Bush.
I mean, the best stuff always does.
And a Bush and a Clinton fighting for presidency while Donald Trump has a bad, stupid wig. I mean, it's all exactly the same.
Yeah.
But, well, I knew the 80s were going to make a comeback someday. Well, the 90s. Okay, the last 35 years we're going to make a comeback at some point.
Okay. So if I get up over here...
And all we really need now is, Ross Perot to come out and we can,
Oh, man, Ross... Is he even alive?
I don't know, but there is a human being so bad that the Muppets made fun of him.
Everybody made fun of Ross Perot.
Yeah, but I mean, they had Ross Parrott.
Do you remember Eek the Cat?
Yes, I do.
Ross Perot was a joke on that all the time.
Yeah, I like that show.
Well, that's not really the point now, is it?
No, but still. I'm having nostalgia.
I tried to make references to Eek the Cat to people for the last few weeks, and nobody in my current circles is old enough to remember it.
Oh, God.
Now, I like these people a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's sometimes it's hard associating with what essentially amount to children at this point.
Yeah, are you a
relative
fetus?
To me.
I got talking to like I said, one of my friends in the game I play. He grew up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I grew up on Transformers." Like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "Yeah, I literally owned every Beast Wars toy." I'm like, "Oh, because you collect them?" Like, no, that's a series I watched growing up. Like, go to hell.
There's one of the writers for the Transformers comics now. Basically, Beast Wars was her introduction to Transformers too. She's working out professionally now. Now that's a good thing in terms of like quality of the writing.
Yeah, because they're writing what they loved.
But it's also this like horribly shocking thing where, a person who is a professional contributor to this franchise is young enough that Beast Wars is where she first encountered Transformers.
Yeah. The thing is, I like Beast Wars. I did.
There's nothing wrong with Beast Wars. Is still one of the best Transformers series.
It actually is, and when it came out, I was stubborn at, no, this is dumb. Transformers are vehicles, not animals.
I think Rob told me a similar story.
And then, like, years later, I finally sat down. Actually, I remember the episode. It was the episode where they found the Ark.
Huh.
And,
Agenda.
And I was just sitting there watching. I'm like, this is actually good. I just love it's so big. It looks like it was poured, not not built. Die-cast construction. It's a lost art. And I know that probably gets quoted very often, but it was just
not as often as it used to, but yeah.
Yeah. Like it was a good line. I was very impressed. The writers weren't dumb.
Well, it helped too that like the writers then were getting input from fans to like understand the references better that they were trying to put in.
That is also good.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be like that? It's not like that.
Okay.
Of course, it's not at all the same on that side. That's interesting. Oh. I think that wall was destroyed.
Well, I didn't do it.
No. Okay, the room is asymmetrical now, and I just realized, and that bothers me.
Is it?
Look at the steps. Like, if you stand here and look straight forward.
Interesting.
God
well, gotta preserve the architectural integrity.
Yeah, I won't touch it.
Especially since it bugs you. That makes it funnier.
Though the funny thing is, I think eventually we should come back through and figure out a way to build a column of water, or columns of water into elevators to move up levels.
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't do that.
I mean, all we would really have to do would be put signs in the top half and put a little trough down bottom, and it would work.
The only issue I see with that as a possibility would be, let me put sign down here. The only possible issue I see with that is those fish spawning into it.
That is a fair point.
Okay, where are we?
We're in a small room out or near a corridor. I'm gonna start filling this area in a bit.
And actually, this is just like a small junction point between.
Yeah, this is the front door right
areas.
Here. Yeah, and this is the front door right here.
Okay, what do we got over here? We can drain this. This is not a huge area. We might have to section it off a little bit.
I'm gonna start by draining this area, and then I'll move forward, and then
I'm gonna grab some signs that aren't in use.
Yeah, I might have walled you in.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I'm in a dry area.
All right. Good.
With a fish, from the sounds of it. Here, fishy.
But now the problem is now I wish I had bought those Transformers when they were out, because now that I've actually stopped and taken a look at the Beast Wars toys, it's like, that's so cool. No, but the thing about my friend is he recently went, yeah, I'm in a bad place money-wise. I'm like, well, you had those Transformers. Do you have any of them left? I was like, oh man, I've got all of them, and I kept all of their boxes. I'm like, okay, that's good. He's like, hell, I even have like 2 Scorponox that were never opened.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay.
That's good, because those have tendencies to break.
Yeah, and he actually went through and was like, yeah, the metal's flaking a little. Is that normal? I'm like, just leave it in the box. Don't ever touch it. Is that one of the new ones? Yeah, don't touch it. You need money. Put it up on eBay as is. It's never been opened. Someone will want it. Because at this point now, if you're going to collect, or, the Beast Wars Scorponok, as I understand it, you basically want one that has never been touched by human hands and is in, a impact-resistant container.
Like, the problem is, Scorponok had a fairly complicated spring gimmick. And also a lot of translucent plastic parts.
Yeah.
Now, you may well be aware, because of your interest in various things, that translucent plastic is not the most robust material.
Oh, no, not even remotely.
It has really very little stress tolerance, and so constant spring tension on it tends to be bad for it.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find a Scorponok where that gimmick works at all.
Yeah, that... God, it's all, God, what is it? Polycyanobutylate or butyrate? PCB plastics. It's basically what was the industry standard for, I think, even up to current for most things, because it's incredibly cheap. But if you mix it wrong, it turns to garbage.
Right.
And if you want certain colors or certain textures, you have to mix it the shitty way.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had access to a chemistry set, and someone who was very foolish to trust me with it, and actually by chemistry set I mean a lab, because I would need a Bunsen burner and access to chlorine gas. But
Jay, you're just making this sound like a better and better idea.
But you can actually restore the properties of PC